Welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is Thursday, January 9th, 2020. This show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please use at your own risk. The show is copyrighted by moi. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form without my written consent. Or you could just ask, I could really give a flying fuck. Finally, this show is opinionated. The host especially, me, callers, 815-290-0912, and more lines soon to be added. People that are naughty in the chat room are and always will be opinionated under no circumstances whatsoever. Should opinions be taken as advice if you're seeking professional advice? We strongly encourage you to hire a license if required person in his or her field there, little Tommy. Hey, man. No. That's his name. Broadcasting live from the wonderful town of Loveland, Colorado, where the weather yesterday, again, 2 days in a row, and I'll take that shit any day, was 50 and sunny, and I love it, love it, love it. Didn't get out on my bike, though. Think, why push it? Warm weather's coming, hopefully, in a few months, although it snowed here last May, end of May, I may add. And I already took some time off to go to Iowa on my motorcycle for a family event. And if it's snowing then, I'm going to be fucking pissed. 'Cause that means I got to drive my car. Quite honestly, I don't think my Scion's going to make it, but who knows? So anyway, what's going on today? We are going to go into part 2, the sequel of Gone with the Wind. Oh, yes. God, that's what I need to do. Remake that one. No. How about no? I heard The Matrix is coming out. Did I say that? Matrix 4. I saw a little... I don't know where I saw that at. I saw it somewhere, though. So it must be true, especially on Facebook. Everything's true on Facebook. So anyway, what's going on? I guess, Melissa, are you there? Hello. Hello, is this working? Hello. Hello. Did I pay the bill? Is the video working? Let's see. Yeah, it's not centered there. Okay. You know what? This camera guy sucks. What? Who is it? Hello? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, good. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. Did you have your morning breakfast and eat a bowl of hemp or what? What's going on?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Got it. All right.
Still doing the coffee thing. So.
Yeah, you know what? I've taken a break on anything that can potentially increase your blood pressure. And I love my coffee, but I just I got into that machine. It what the hell was that grocery store? Anyway, what is it? I can't think because I'm on the spot. Anyway, I went there. King Soopers. Damn it. Fuck. It's such a stupid name, but whatever. So I was in there and I sat in the machine and it was like 140 over 95, and I'm like, I got to do something about that.
That's
so I'm
pretty high.
yeah. So but I just got done working out and stuff because the gym's like right across the street. So I don't know, but regardless, yes, it is high. So I'm gonna start working on anything that deals with stress or increases my blood pressure potentially in diet. So that means I'm quitting my job, I'm not talking to people, and I'm pretty much just not eating anymore. So how do you like that?
I wonder if that's why my blood pressure stays so low.
Why?
Because I don't work outside my house.
Could be.
Don't deal with people.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out before I go back to the doctor or go to the doctor. And she prescribes some blood pressure medication, which I really want to do as a last resort. So anyway, that's that. But this show stresses me out too, although everything worked today. Yay, I'm so happy.
Yay.
Perfect.
I think we've got it.
It seems that way. And I was looking at the Freedom Revolution Network webpage, and like 40-something people watched our video the other day. I'm like, whoa, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad, right?
We're getting there.
I mean, it's not a million, gajillion, bazillion. Do you have anything that has ratings or any kind of crap like that, or no?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I watch analytics like a hawk.
Oh, that's right. Use Google Analytics, right? Or that's one of them?
Yeah.
What's it saying?
Yeah, that's my main one.
What's it saying?
Well, considering the fact that we've only really been live for like 2 months, we're doing pretty good. Our numbers are steadily going up, and people are finding us now. And only upwards from here.
What how are they finding us? What's the biggest?
We are actually getting a lot of hits from organic Google searches now.
No.
We're showing up in searches, and yeah.
And what are you putting in the meta tags or the whatever for search terms? What words are you using?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Depends
Really?
on what particular page. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it all depends on what page
That's really
it's
cool.
on.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like a giant puzzle to me.
It's like a what?
It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's true because of all the different pages off the main page, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Or home page or home. What was it? Home index page and fuck. I messed around with that stuff. Create my own web page years ago. It's like to get down to the bare roots of it and program it, probably like you do. I'm sure that takes a lot, but this was a software program, so kind of make your own web page. And isn't it HTML index? Isn't the index the home page or no? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
even with WordPress sites, it's still the index page.
Is it? So that's the home page.
Yep.
Got it. Yeah, that was fun. Guy was into that way. I remember when the internet or the World Wide Web or whatever was first coming out, and everybody was, well, not everybody, but some guys were registering every domain name you could think of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and some of them made
People
some
still
money.
do that. They still do that.
Well, I'm sure they do, but most of them are taken now. But I mean, back then it was just like anything.com or whatever, and then whatever they hit on, like, insurance.com or I registered, I think icemachines.com, and I don't want to get into it, but I was told, now we're paying money for stuff, whatever, we don't need it. And I know it's sold, and I don't want to know what it's sold for. So I'm kind of pissed about that one. But.
Yeah, selling domains for more than the 10 to $17 that you pay for them from all the various websites.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to sell them for more than that, people would have to be pretty desperate for that specific name.
Well, yeah, and especially now, but back then, if some big corporation wanted it because they wanted that to drive traffic to their web page and even divert it to a different web page, I mean, they would pay for it.
Oh yeah, yeah, they would, and they still do.
Yeah,
I've seen domains in the tens of thousands of dollars for 1 year.
Yep. It all depends on what it is and who sees it, and if they think it's going to work, then they'll frickin' buy it from you. So, but
good old capitalism.
This one guy owned, exactly. This one guy owned a water softener system in Crystal Lake, or a company that he installed water systems, and I ran into him because I deal with water with ice machines. I don't know how I met him, but I did, and I walked into his office one day, and he just kept registering all these domains, and of course I didn't know what that meant. And I go, what is that? He's like, just basically web pages and whatever, like I could put watersofteners.com, and then maybe Calgon would pick that up, and I don't even think he was thinking that far forward at that time, but that's what it would be now. And I'm like, but man, he just kept submitting them, and bam, he would sit there all day long, bam, 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 bam. I'm like, oh my God. Whatever.
Oh yeah, I tried to get into that field for a little while, but it's way too competitive. I didn't have the time to deal with it.
Right. Yeah, but I thought it was interesting. I mean, this was back in like 2000, 2001. It was way back. So
it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
It's really fascinating when you look at the history of it.
Yeah, and everybody said, well, it's all eventually just going to go to marketing and selling crap. And quite honestly, that's kind of what it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, silly me, I thought it'd be for information, which it is, but I mean, I think predominantly it's for, well, depending on your opinion, but selling shit right now and marketing. I really think it is.
Well, yeah.
And stupid radio shows.
That's why people like me have jobs.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it. But regardless of what the content is, you're still got to make web pages for.
Oh yeah.
Whoever wants them for whatever reason. So you should have a job for a while, I would think.
Well, it's done me for over 20 years now. So.
Oh yeah. So that was right when it started, right?
Yeah, I started building websites back in 1997.
I still never really found a good one where the average Joe could do it himself and configure it. But I had one was a contact manager, and then it was called Maximizer, and then you could make your own e-commerce and your own company webpage, and that was the best I found. But it still wasn't all that great. So.
Yeah, unless you build it yourself, there's always going to be limitations.
Right. Well, it's like buying software for your business, and it's not really specific to what you want it to do, but sometimes you can customize it a little bit, but not really to the point where you want it to be. Like Freedom Revolution Network, I'm sure everything there is what you wanted, and Alyssa, right? Wanted, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's been built from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's cool nonetheless. Still fascinating. I still think it has a lot of potential to go if they quit using it to spy on people and shit. But we don't want to go there, right?
I remember I found a chat site called The Globe back in around 97 or so. And I was fascinated because I could talk to people in Australia, and I was hooked.
Kind of like Skype?
No, it was actually one of the first, if not the first, chat sites that you had to push like refresh to get the chat to refresh.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so cool because I would literally stay up all night long talking to people in Australia.
So the big chat room, kind of like America Online, but just internet based, not software based.
Yeah, it had like rooms and groups and different things you could do, and like I said, I found the Australian room, and I was hooked. It was cool.
It's
long gone now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Speaking of that, though, that place is on fire. That's horrible. With all the varmints running around and stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I saw a lot of.
And the fact that they're arresting people. That means it wasn't natural.
No, yes, it was. It was global warming.
Yeah, okay.
It was.
We're not going to go there.
Stupid fuckers. I saw Jennifer Aniston read what... who's the guy that played... He's out from Australia that played the Gladiator or whatever. Russell Crowe.
Oh, I know who you're talking. Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, he won the Globe, but he's back home taking care of... And I'm not making fun of this or being an asshole. Okay, I'm just saying... Well, I am making fun, but I'm not making light of it. I love animals. It's breaking my heart to see what's happened to the kangaroos and the koala bears and all that shit. So with that said, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Jennifer Aniston accepted the award for Russell Crowe at the Golden Globe Awards. And she read it, so I can't really put it on her because I don't know if this is her perspective, but it was like Russell Crowe was saying, make no mistake, this is because of global warming. As I jump on my jet plane to go to Australia.
Over 100 people.
Excuse me?
Yeah, they've arrested over 100 people.
No, I know that. And that's what I'm saying. He's like,
Yeah.
as I jump on my jet plane to go to Australia, it's like, you know what, fucker? Why don't you take a rowboat there and shut up? I'm tired of the elitist attitude of, well, you can't do it, but I can. And then give out disinformation that it's because we're living our lifestyle and it's our fault that the koala bears and kangaroos are freaking burning to death. Essentially, it seems like it's arson.
Yeah, it's what they're. Have you seen the stories yet about all the arrests and what they think is going on?
Yeah, I saw it was from firefighters to fuck. I don't know. I guess it's everybody now, but I did see that on Facebook. It's horrible.
Well, they have some kind of a train thing that was supposed to be set up, and they got denied, and then the fire started, and it's in the exact trail of where this train was supposed to run.
Oh.
Yeah, so another corporate backed. We're gonna destroy everything so that we can build our whatever we want.
Sounds like Atlas Shrugged, kind of. Crazy. Doesn't surprise me none. Oh, well.
Me neither. I mean, it makes me very sad because of the critters, and but is what it is, I guess. Not really a whole lot we can do about it at this point.
No, and I want to go to Australia. I would, that New Zealand. I would really love to go there. I heard it's beautiful.
Oh, you and me both.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Because if you go to Australia, you might as well go to New Zealand because I guess it's not that far, and it's so far away from here, it'd be kind of stupid not to, I would think.
I just hope there's something left of it to be able to go to.
Well, on a positive note, it's definitely going to be, if they let everything regrow or plant, it's going to be a good soil environment for growing shit again. But it's fucking horrible. It really is. I don't know what's I don't know what's wrong with people.
There's no replacing those animals.
No, and that's what breaks my heart. I mean, it's amazing that if nothing happened and you go out there, they run away from you and stay away, or some assholes hunt them or whatever. But now, since they lost their home and they're freaking out, they're actually coming up to people asking for water and hugs and everything else. It's fucking amazing, man. It really is.
I've got a friend out there that does, he's got his wildlife animal rescue licensing or whatever it is down there. And I can't even imagine what he's dealing with right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the strength to do that. I got too soft of a heart for animals and kids. I can't see them in pain and suffering. I just can't. I can't. So it's just like fucking break my heart.
That's one of those things that will set me off quicker than anything. You mess with critters or kids.
Right. Where they're innocent victims, and it would break my heart. And if I wouldn't probably stop breaking down crying, I'd be fucking pissed. And then I wouldn't, that wouldn't really do anything for anybody. So it's like, but I would still like to do something besides sending money. I don't know. It's just really, but I don't want to turn into a political platform or environmental issue because of whatever. It's just that's just crossing a boundary for me. Just leave it as it is and let's help these fucking people and animals and be done with it. So
yeah, get it over with and fixed and move on from there.
Yeah,
that's all we can really do at this point with it.
Right, and connect the dots to making everybody feel guilty and ruining the environment and making it a political platform because I'm getting sick of it.
Feel guilty are the ones who set the damn thing.
Right, those people should be hanged by their balls. I'm sorry, that's just what is wrong with you.
Oh, I've got a friend that collects medieval torture devices. Maybe we can borrow some of his collection and go round them all up. I think it would be fun.
It would be fun to do what? Something distracted me.
to round them all up and round up everybody
Oh,
who started these fires
well, you
and
know what? They wouldn't get
torture them with
they
medieval torture devices.
they would not get any mercy from me. I mean, I'm an eye for an eye type of guy, so I don't think
Yeah.
tying them down to a barbecue pit would be out of line. But that's just mean, you know.
Oh, you don't want to know the thoughts that go through my head
Yeah,
when it comes to that.
yeah. It's just.
Us liberals aren't quite so nonviolent when it comes to things like that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with that. I think it's a human thing. It seems like actually more Republicans are more along that line too, because they like the death penalty and blah 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 and everything else. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's politically motivated or tied or whatever. But I just think if you're gonna do to something, or
I think it's commercial.
it's what
I think it's commercially motivated
commercially. What does that mean?
for the train that was supposed to be going through there.
Oh. Yeah, I'm talking about how people side about capital
Oh.
punishment or an eye for an eye type of thing. That's what I'm talking about.
All I can say to that is that I'm a women's rights activist, so we have quite a few fantasies about doing some pretty bad things
Mm.
as far as eye for an eye type situations.
Well, definitely these people should be made an example of and be a deterrent, because it's just I don't even know how you could put a cost onto this. I really
You can't.
Yeah, and then what are you gonna do? Make them pay for it? They're never gonna make that amount of money.
Oh, no, that's I. I don't even know what could be done that would be anything that would be the equivalent, I guess, of what they've done.
You find a small island, you put them all on there, and you light the fucker on fire and say, "See you later."
Well, that's kind of how Australia was developed.
Well, wasn't
They
a
they
prison?
put yeah, that was where they sent all the bad people.
That's what I did my homework on a little bit. It's like it was so
Yeah,
far out there they put all the
that's
bad
actually
people on it.
fascinating.
What's that?
I said it's actually pretty fascinating when you think about it.
Yeah, and I guess it's really a beautiful place, but they put all the bad people on it to get rid of them, and it was in the middle of nowhere, so like a desolate, isolated island, and it turned out to be one of the most beautiful places on Earth. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. All those bad people turned it into something wonderful.
Right, right. And on that note, on a positive note, I just want to give recognition to all the people and famous people that donated money to
Oh
Australia
yeah,
down there,
definitely.
because it's about fucking time.
Can you believe? Can you believe that gal that raised all that money by sending nudes? She got blocked and taken off of her social media accounts and everything.
I saw something like that, and I shared it. I didn't really read the
Yeah,
article, but
yeah,
who cares?
right. Who cares if she's sending nudes to raise money? She's raising the money.
Right. Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing Playboy doesn't do. I mean, come on, whatever.
Right.
I mean, if she's having sex and this and that, and that's whatever. But she's not. I mean, she's apparently an
No,
attractive,
she's just
beautiful
sending
woman.
pictures.
What's that?
She, she's just sending pictures. I mean, it's nothing bad.
Hey, if you got it, flaunt it.
Nothing we don't sell in our stores.
That's what I'm saying. Playboy's been doing it for decades, and then this woman's doing it and helping a good cause. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Either.
Yeah.
More power to her.
Yeah, right. If you can do it, do it. Fuck it, man. What else are you gonna do? I mean, if she was selling drugs and fucking, and then sending the money or fentanyl or whatever, I'd be like, you really put me in a position here, But I was like, no, that's not gonna work. So, plus the states are gonna do that anyway, except they won't give any money to Australia, they'll fucking spend it all. But whatever. All right. Well, so speaking of drugs, 6:30 already, half hour time. I have to set up Skype again. I know we're working on that, or we've done it, or what you said. Alyssa figured it out, or what?
Alicia did.
Alicia, sorry. I know an Alyssa. Alicia, it's the same. It's the same thing. Tim, Tom, Bob, Fred, whatever. Huh. Alicia, right?
Yeah.
She's still in Facebook jail?
I don't know.
Naughty, naughty, naughty.
She hasn't mentioned being released yet.
Huh. All right. Well, I can set it up. I can do it. It's just for some reason, if I call it or it calls me, it comes up restricted. So I don't know what's going on. It's some settings or some shit I got to figure out. Skype's a weird program.
We'll have to look into
What?
that is.
Yeah.
It's a good program, though.
Yeah, but it has a mind of its own sometimes. I mean, I don't know. Like now, I didn't change anything, and it won't work. It goes right to voicemail, or if I call it, it don't work. I don't know. It's weird. I got to figure it out. I'll figure that out. Because I can do that. I've tried it. I can talk to you, and then I can have some other people call, and it's on Skype, and it'll work. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we need to get set up.
Yeah, because
we will get it. We
Oh.
will have call-ins eventually.
Well, that'd be nice because like I said, I really enjoy that part of it. So that's how you attract more listeners too, if they can call in. But very few do, but some do. So.
Well, we're also on kind of early, so.
That's no excuse. I'm up. You're up.
If it wasn't for your show being up, I wouldn't be up. Well, actually, I would by now, but.
Well, me neither. I just picked this slot because I want to get it out of the way because I got a busy day with my job. So.
Well, yeah, you have a real job, an outside job.
Right. I have like a 9 to 5, but it's more like an 8 to 4 or 7 to 3 or whatever. I want to be on the road by 7 because I don't want to fight traffic. But sometimes I got to work late, so doing a later time slot wouldn't work because I couldn't commit to it. And then I do other things like go to the gym and blah, 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 and I don't want it conflicting with that. So, but I don't know. I mean, 6 ain't so bad because that's 7 in Illinois and 8 in Florida. And in California, I could really give a shit. So, that's an hour earlier. So, because there are...
Well, and I can listen to it.
Well, yeah, you can go back and listen to it, too. That's how I listen to most stuff, is by podcast. I just download it.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't matter. I don't think time's an issue, unless, of course, you have callers or interview somebody. I'm waiting for that one. I want to interview somebody. He's like, well, what time's the show? 6 a.m. Denver time. Fuck you. Fuck you. What? No way, man. I might have to reschedule it one time, though. But yeah, I can see that coming a mile away. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still, there's morning shows all over the place.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that'd be the hard. I mean, I would say that. I'd be like, you're nuts. I'm not getting up that early to talk and an interview. I need my sleep.
Right?
But of course now I get up at 4 anyway. Doesn't matter. I've been doing boxing for a year at 5 a.m. so it doesn't bother me. It's in my, once you get into a habit or your body clock or whatever, I'm up at 4 no matter what. So.
I know.
But I go to bed at 8 or 9 or 10 at the latest. And I'm out. So.
Since I started getting up with you every morning, I definitely have been going to bed earlier.
Well, I don't see how you can't because I'll lay on that couch out there and I'm out. I mean, And I'm not even
That's what happens to me.
yeah, and I'm not even really tired. I'm like, I'm just gonna lay here a little bit, watch TV, and I'm like, fuck.
Yep. 5 minutes later,
Yeah.
what was I watching?
Right. Yeah, and I left the TV on and the lights on and God knows what else, and I'm like, oh man. So, but I don't. I'd rather be an early person than a late person because it just kind of fits my lifestyle anyway. So. All right, so let's get on with this. That's usually what I do anyway. I waste the first half an hour with bullshit. So then we can start talking about what we were talking about yesterday. Now, I don't know. We pretty much, did we really nail CBD oil, or is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Or
Well, I mean, as far as CBD oil goes, like I said yesterday, make sure if you're if you're worried about drug testing, make sure you get isolate. Um, we need to do a disclaimer, that nothing we say is FDA approved, and um, it's at this point it's all anecdotal. It's what we've heard from other people. There is science behind it, but obviously it hasn't been federally tested because they refused. So,
and is that all
but
mostly?
yeah, as far as pardon?
Is that all mostly because it's natural?
Well, of course, it's natural and it bites into the opioids and various other drugs that they put out legally.
Yeah. I didn't say this yesterday, and I have a pharmacology class that I took at college under my belt, so which I got an A in, by the way, and was one of the hardest classes I ever took at a college level. But most, if not all, drugs that are created by man or synthesized come from natural herbs and things that are grown on the planet. Did you know that? Hello? Hello? I paid my bill. The fuck? Hello? It's free, too, and it's ridiculous. She's gone. Call ended. That had to be on her end. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I took a pharmacology class just for you guys out there. And most, if not all, drugs that are synthesized or made by drug companies are found in nature, and they take them and they break them down and they make them. Then they sell them and they go, fuck you. Hello?
Apparently, my phone decided to disconnect.
Wasn't me.
No, it was me.
That's okay. I just felt like I was talking to my ex-wife. She fucking ignored me too, so.
Well, I was talking to absolutely nothing, apparently.
Oh, how rude. No, I know, I get it. And I just looked, and yeah, you were still there, but you weren't there. And then you must have hung up and called back, so, which is cool.
Yeah, it went weird. My phone decided to be
So
weird.
did you hear anything I said?
No, actually, I did not.
Really?
Yeah.
I took a pharmacology class years ago, and 2 nights a week at the local college at night, and it was one of the hardest classes I ever took at the college level. And I got an A in it. And
Nice.
I learned in there that most, if not all, drugs that are synthesized and sold by pharmaceutical companies, they find in nature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they copy nature.
Yep. They take it and change it, and
That's
then they.
why. Yeah, that's why I'm very anti-pharma, because everything that they're doing can be found in nature somewhere.
Yeah, I saw on the news some CEO asshole, and he was real young. I mean, like 30 or whatever, around that age, and just kept raising the price of this pill. And they asked him, why you doing it? People can't afford it. And his answer was pretty much he didn't give a shit. So,
Well, no, why would he? He's making bank.
yeah, at people's health. That's ridiculous. That's just.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see why.
Healthcare shouldn't be for profit, in my opinion.
No, it should be non for profit. I don't think the government should be doing it, but it should be non for profit. So the government can't even figure the fucking postal system out. They're going to start playing with people's healthcare. I don't think
it's
so.
Funny you bring that up.
Well, I'm serious. What can the government? What does
I'm waiting on a package.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on a package right now it was coming from Phoenix, and somehow it went to Denver and now is in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and what's going to happen to them? Nothing.
No.
Postal services like the DMV, it's fucking ridiculous. Those people could give a shit. They get paid by the hour. They don't fucking care. Time to go on break. I'll just close that line, although there's 50 fucking people in it, and just go in the other line because I got to take my lunch. Really? Take a number and shut up. Huh. Ridiculous. What does the government do in providing services well? Except getting letters from the IRS. They do that pretty well.
They make sure those get through.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a priority. Yeah, I just got one 2 days ago, actually. So that's why I bring it up. Which was surprising to me. So I don't know if I should really share it or not, and I'm not doing it to diss anybody. I'm sure it was a communication issue, but I'm on a payment plan with the state of Illinois who worked it out great. They were great. And then I worked out a payment plan for back taxes in my business with the feds. So I'm paying it off, and then I filed bankruptcy. And then unbeknownst to me, I guess there's a court order or something sent out in the bankruptcy process that they can't take money out of my account to pay my taxes. So I noticed this, and I didn't think nothing of it.
Weird.
Oh, well, I didn't know. How would you know? And I've never filed bankruptcy. So I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. And I'm dealing with other things. I ain't going to worry about it. They're going to get their fucking money. It's like, it's not going to go away. So I just figured it would resolve itself. Didn't even think to ask my attorney about it. Then I get the letter from the state of Illinois, and they're like, all right, we're going to continue the withdrawal, automatic withdrawal every month to continue to pay your back taxes. I'm like, cool. I get one from the feds, and it's like, oh, you haven't paid and failure to pay, and they throw all this penalties and interest and all this fucking shit on there, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I send it to my CPA accountant back in Illinois because he's still doing my stuff. I mean, it's been 4 years I've been divorced. 2 years my business has been out. And I'm still dealing with this shit. And there's always something. Fucking Groundhog Day. Always something that sneaks up or comes up. And this is another one. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I give it to my accountant. And obviously he resolved it. Because every time I see a letter from the IRS, I mean, and I'm sure that's everybody. I mean, there's not going to be a gift card in there for being a good customer or any of that shit. There's nothing ever good. Thank you for being a valued taxpayer. Merry Christmas. Or I'm sorry. Happy holidays. Fucking whatever. So I open it up, and then I thought it was going to be another, we're going to intent to lien and seize your assets and all this shit. And because I've gotten those before. And then I open it up, and it's like, oh, here's your voucher, $100 a month, and here's your balance. That was lowered.
No. Oh.
Yeah, it's what I actually owed them, because I'm assuming the judge sent a court order out or whatever the bankruptcy process is because it's a federal thing, and it's like, stop taking money out of this person's account because they're in bankruptcy, which makes sense, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I am full of gratitude, and I'm finally happy that it's resolved and we're back on payment plan, but it just goes to that. So just put that into the perspective of now it's a medical bill and the government's running it all, which essentially is going to be through the IRS because Obama's a tax and Obamacare's a tax. They said it is. But regardless of that, now you're dealing with a federal agency that's doing the billing and are sending you shit, and you can't communicate with them because they don't have enough people, and you get an automated system that's bullshit anyway. Push 3. Okay, well, and it takes you back to where you started in the first place. It's like, can I please talk to a human being? Thank you.
No.
But just imagine that.
Bad.
Imagine you got a bill from a hospital, and now it's all controlled by the government, and it's a mistake, and you can't resolve it, and they're going to come after you and start going after payroll and everything in your employer and start taking money out of your check and garnish your wages for something that's a fuck up. It's like, okay, what's going on? Ugh. They sure can get a hold of you, though, can't they?
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so whatever. So fucking get off on that. But I was shocked to see or hear that most drugs that are prescribed or pharmaceutical are created from some type of beginning from nature, which was like, well, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Yep. And that's why the holistic movement has gotten so big, is because people are finally waking up and realizing that all these things that they're man making, you can get straight off the plant,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you can literally make your own.
Right.
I have a ton of respect for shamans and the folks that, you know, do all the trying to think of the right words for it here. I can't think of them. But people that do, you know, like your medicine men and shamans and people like that, your herbalist witches, you know, because they work with nature, and you know, I mean, even religious people say, you know, that God put everything we need on this earth.
Right.
And he did. You know.
Until man fucks it up, and then capitalism comes in, and then you fuck everybody to make money.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's business, and I hate that. Oh, it's business. No, it's not business. There's morals and ethics there, and you're capitalizing on someone's sickness in their health, which is really the only thing somebody can't take away from you. And then if you do have a problem, then they charge you up the ass for it, and if you can't pay it, then I mean, how many people are financially destroyed alone just from medical bills?
Oh, honey, my credit got ruined years ago over medical stuff, back when they were still holding all the medical against us.
And then you know what? I'm going to get into this a little bit, okay? Because I have a whole different perspective on this horseshit with health insurance, health care, whatever you want to call it. Because back in the day, now I've been an employee. I've been busting my ass all my life. I was a business owner for 20 years. I was in the union when I was an employee, 597 Pipe Fitters in Chicago, Illinois. Been non-union. My company was a non-union shop. Blah, 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 blah. Here's my take on this. Companies, and the ones on Wall Street and Fortune 500 and whatever, the bean counters looked at the balance sheet and, well, what can we do to save money? I know. Let's not pay for health care anymore. Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to do that for stock prices and profits and take away an employee's health insurance to make more money? Really? Am I understanding this right? Right?
Well, I mean, you remember the days when companies would hire you for under 37 and a half hours, because 37 and a half hours meant you were full time.
Right.
And as long as you were under that 37 and a half hours, they didn't have to pay benefits.
Yeah, and then they cut it down to what, 30 with Obamacare, and they still got around it so they didn't have to pay full-time employee benefits.
Yeah.
I get all of that. That's just shyster. People would think, "Oh, that's creativeness and I'm an entrepreneur and a CEO." No, you're just a fucking asshole. That's what you are.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it.
You're just a jerk not wanting to help people,
Yeah, as your
not wanting to give them what they deserve.
which I'm sure your benefits package is perfectly fine, like these assholes in Congress and political positions where their health care program's nowhere near what us peasants get.
Right.
It's all bullshit. But anyway, so I started seeing that, and I'm like, I was in the union at the time, and my union insurance was awesome, and it still is. It's about the only thing I like about a union is they got really good benefits and wonderful, wonderful health insurance. Okay, but everybody else, and you couldn't get in the union or whatever, you're not unionized. Your health insurance either didn't exist or was dramatically decreased. So that means you're going to have to pay for it and get it. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I've seen the bills. I had a company for 20 years. I paid in the beginning before Obama. I'm not this is just facts. I'm not bashing anybody. It's not a political whatever. Okay, it's not a political issue. The facts are the facts. I started my business and I paid 100% health insurance for my employees and their families. Because that's what you do. You know, it's like when you get a job and it's like, well, we're taking lunch breaks away. What? You know, it's like, well, there'll be no more bathroom facilities anymore. The cafeteria is closed. What are you talking about? Well, it's an effort to save money and profitability. And really? I mean, you don't. To me, healthcare was a sacred cow. You don't fucking touch my healthcare, asshole. But they did.
Oh yeah, they did, and they did it hard.
So I get the whole thing of what happened. The reason why this healthcare system sucks is because of greedy corporations. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it because they refuse to pay for it anymore. Then you pass the cost down to the employee. The employee, well, you're paying them jack shit anyway. They can't afford it. So what are they going to do? Then the government gets involved because obviously people were bitching about it. Government hasn't fixed a social issue, in my opinion. Look at Social Security, and I don't want to get into it. They haven't fixed a social issue to save their life. They keep fucking it up. So then they pass a law, well, you have to pay for it. My insurance bills tripled after Obamacare was in place and kept going and going and going. And it went to the point where I couldn't raise my prices just to absorb health care to pay for my people and their family. So first it went, I only can pay for the employee and half for their family. Then prices kept going through the roof. Then I said, you know what? I'll pay for you, but I can't pay for your family. If you want it for your family, you're going to have to pay. And it's just escalated to the worst point possible right now, where health insurance is a big fucking joke, and they never want to pay anything. Every time you submit a claim, well, you need to fill out this form. Was it through a workman's comp claim? Was it this? Was it that? No, it wasn't. And you do, when you go to the fucking hospital, you fill these fucking forms out anyway in admission, and then it gets submitted to the insurance company, and then they send you the same goddamn forms. So it's like, wait a minute, are you people stupid, or are you trying to catch me lying? You know, or what are you doing? What is your, besides dragging this out and trying to get out of paying for it, in my opinion, why are you doing this? Then, of course, they get it all resolved, and, well, you owe a balance of 10 grand. Well, I can't pay it. Oh, well, we're going to mark your credit. Oh, gee, thank you very much. Because the deductibles are so high now. It's great. Nobody can afford it.
Well, yeah, and that's my opinion, is that whenever they instituted the ACA, they didn't put any checks for the insurance industry. The insurance industry is still running rampant and charging whatever the hell they feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not reining them in?
Well, because they're in the club.
They're paying off all the politicians.
Yeah, they're in the club.
You don't have to.
Yeah, they're in the club that we're not in. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I fully put the responsibility and the blame in the decisions of all the big corporations in the business. And I'm a former business owner, so whatever. It's like, yeah, you know what? We fucked up. We shouldn't have fucked with people's health insurance. But you know what? We did. And that was wrong.
You need to correct it.
Well, they need to do something, but it's all for the mighty dollar and the profits. I mean, your human resources, of course, they're trying to replace everybody with robots and AI now, but your human resources are your most important asset in a business. I don't care what it is.
Oh, yeah.
But when you pull a balance sheet or an income and expense sheet, you see all the costs, because employees are costs. So it's all the liabilities and everything else, and payroll and taxes and insurance. It's like, well, this is costing us money. We need to do something about this. No. You pay people a certain amount of money, and then the product or service that you're selling, that's an investment because you're making more money by using those people and paying them less, and your return on investment should be at least double, if not triple, on the bottom line.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's still not good enough.
No, it's not. It's called greed.
Exactly.
One of the 7 deadly sins.
I would take a payroll cut, and I have in some instances, but I would never. There's 2 or 3 things when I started my business that were sacred. I would always pay for the employees' health insurance 100%. I would always have a Christmas bonus and a Christmas party. And if I couldn't do any of those, and I couldn't address the issue, I would close my business. But I would take a pay cut personally as a president of the company and the owner if that's what it would take to pay my employees' health insurance. That is something that would just never be touched.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's part of the reason I've never had employees.
Well, yeah, that's a whole, yeah. And you don't have workman's comp and all the other nice bullshit insurance you got to have. But, yeah, no, I get that part of it. But I fully blame how it started. I don't want to waste time on how to fix it. I want to know how it got broke. And it got broke by everybody being greedy and deciding not to pay for it. And you fucking assholes should pay for it again. Because it's ridiculous.
I agree.
They did it before.
I agree completely with that.
They did it before. Why can't they do it again? Because they choose not to. Then they'll go, well, our competition.
They don't have to now.
Yeah, well, then they're going to go, well, our competition doesn't do it, so we can't compete with pricing. I don't fucking care. Then take a pay cut.
I'd rather pay more to a company that is providing those things.
Right.
I would rather pay more for the same product I could get for $10 less somewhere else. I'd rather pay for it because I know that company is ethical and they're taking care of their people.
That's right. And you'll attract better, high quality, higher talented employees too if you do that.
Right.
Oh, yeah, but our stock price is, this and that, and Acme Roadrunner is doing this, and I hate when I hear that. Well, our competition's doing this. So what? Think out of the box, do something different.
Yeah,
who gives a fuck what your competition's doing? Just like this network here. Are you really worried about ABC and D, E, F, and G, radio platform network, whatever this thing is? I still don't know what it is. What they're doing? No. I can give a flying fuck what they're doing. Think for yourself and always do the right thing, and things will work out. That's the motto I live by.
Me too. I mean, if you take care of and that's one of the things I really don't get is if providing those things gives you a healthier and happier employee base, they're going to do a better job for you than if they're not getting those things, or if they have to work 2 or 3 jobs in order to pay their rent. You would think it would be common sense.
It is common sense. It's common sense and logic and simple math. It's first grade math. And it's really not that hard to figure out.
Yeah.
But I will say this, and I agree with you 100%. But in my experience, in my business atmosphere, in a small family business, I had employees that were with me from 8 to 10 years, and that was the average employment time, which is pretty good in my industry. But
That's very good in your industry.
oh, it was great, and I delegated power to them, and the ones I always delegated power to, they turned into Darth Vader. They couldn't handle the power. Then I will say this: I just heard from a former employee a few days ago, and he asked me for some technical support, which I did with my guys. I'm like, if you can't figure something out, call me. I'll guide you through it. Good, that's my job. So I did that, and he called me after a few years, and he's like, "Hey Tim, I'm having a problem with this unit. What do you think?" And I told him right away. And he was a good guy and everything, but the point is that the people I gave power and were there for a while, they turned into Darth Vader, and it became dark. And what I'm accusing of corporations and being greedy in, that's what my employees did. I would say 8 out of 10 of my employees through the history of my company, they've started their own business.
I could say the same.
Yeah, but they got greedy because $140,000 a year, not including benefits, I guess, wasn't enough. And most of them made over 6 figures with overtime, which wasn't enough. They still wanted more. They want what I had. So employees can be guilty as charged as greedy corporations, but the commonality is greed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the baseline is just greed. Greed in itself.
Yeah,
Nothing's ever enough.
What do you want? I give you a truck, you take it home, paid vacation, paid sick days, paid holidays, $45 an hour, overtime. You get to pick and choose where you go. I give you a certain area. It was just fucking great. I connect you with my customers and delegate authority to that and higher ups, with the trust issue. And all of it was used against me because it wasn't enough. And there's some jealousy in there too.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why am I working so hard when you're not? You know what, asshole? This guy said this to me.
I learned it.
Well, I learned it. I was being groomed for it working for my dad, and I busted my ass. And this employee that called me a couple days ago is on his own. And he goes, Tim, you mean to tell me that when you started out with nothing, you just worked until you built the company up to where you can hire somebody? And I said, yeah, that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Because who's not
the process of starting your own company?
But see, they don't see that. They don't see that part of it. They see after you busted your ass, and I don't want any empathy or sympathy. This is what it is, people. For a fucking company to get to the point to hire their first employee when you don't start out with any capital other than I started out with a very minimal amount by refinancing my house and cashing the equity out and doubling the mortgage interest rate from like 7% to 14% without a job because I got fired. So I started my business. Yeah, I worked 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, every day for two years straight, missed birthday parties, missed weddings that people got pissed off because I couldn't do it because I had to work to build up my company. Then 10 years later, people see, oh, you got this nice office. You got all these great high-end customers, corporate customers, and cars, and a boat, and a second house in Vegas. They see all that. And then you transfer all this knowledge. What?
I said you worked for it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they don't see that, and they don't care. So then they go, well, I want all this stuff. I'm busting my ass, and I want that. So they fucking take it from you. And the scary part is they can. Fucking really?
Yeah.
Really? And the customers let them, because without customers, a company's nothing. Without income, they're nothing. And my customers actually let it happen. It was just the biggest disappointment in my life, one of them. Right up there.
Yeah, like I said, that's part of the reason why I've never had employees in my 20 years.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you.
there's too much hassle that goes along with it, and I have trust issues. So,
Well, everybody that's
and
done
I'm
that,
a dragon lady.
everybody that's done that, they will fail. Because the one guy that did it, just the last guy that did it, and I've had people I've fired or they quit and they eventually started their own company. But for one of my first employees, he called me back and he said, if it wasn't for you, Tim, I wouldn't be where I'm at. But I fired him for very good reason. So, but the one that just did it, incorporated while they were working for me, took another employee, which was his friend.
That's not cool.
I sent him to people that I thought I trusted and I had a pretty good relationship as far as customers with power, district managers, whatever. I would send this guy that did this to me, I would send him to their house or whatever. If there was a situation that needed to be addressed, I would delegate that to my right-hand man. And unbeknownst to me, there's things going on and conversations going on that I'm not aware of. And before I know it, I'm the biggest asshole on the planet, and I'm hiring unqualified people and this and that and everything else. And I knew where it was coming from. And I was destroyed from within. And that was from an employee. The other part of it was from family. Because you can't make this shit up. I'm going to write a book someday, and no one's going to believe it, and I really don't care, because people that are working and my boss sucks and they make too much money and the owner sucks and they're assholes and there's that, you have no idea the sacrifices that are made and the hard work that goes in to get the equity, just to hire one employee takes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're successful and you share that, I mean, I didn't make a lot of money, but I made really good money, and so did my ex-wife at the time. We did, but we took money because I was making $100 an hour and she was making $50,000 a year. But I paid all the bills. Okay? So that's good money. $4,000 a week gross, that's pretty good fucking money. But I did underpay my people. I paid them very well. But you're right with that. I mean, employees, and I was warned about it too. I wouldn't hire any employees if I were you. Well, unfortunately, I can't do this forever, every single fucking day. It's like a one-man band. You just can't keep playing the instruments every single night. You can't. You can't do it. You need a guitar player. You need a bass player, drummer. You need a singer. You need all that stuff, unfortunately.
That's part of the reason why Alicia and I decided to start Freedom Revolution. Is, for me, it's my way of getting out of what I've been doing for the last 20 years and focusing on my own project.
Yeah, well, I'll just warn you this, and then I listen to Anthony Robbins, who I'm not a huge fan of, but I needed something to shove me off the ship and into the entrepreneurial commitment business world, because once you commit to starting a company, there's no turning back. There's no turning back.
No.
And one thing
there isn't.
One thing he said was this. What's that?
I said no, it's not, and it takes a lot of work to get them off the ground.
Beyond comprehension. It's like explaining childbirth to somebody, especially a man. You're just never gonna fucking get it. So I listened to Anthony Robbins CDs, and a friend borrowed them to me. And one thing he said is like, your friends and your family will be jealous of you when you become successful. He should have threw employees in there too, and maybe he did, but I don't recall that part. I just was so taken aback by my family and my neighbors and friends will be jealous of you. And I'm like, no, they won't. Yes, they will.
Yeah, they will.
Yes, they will.
And they'll be very negative. They can get very negative about it and really try to destroy your enthusiasm and your excitement.
Your motivation.
And your passion, for that matter.
Well, because here's how they think. When I got my boat, and it was an 18-foot jet boat, a Sea-Doo, nothing, I had kids. We went on the Fox River and Channel Lakes because I wanted to spend family time with my family. It was great. But you should have saw their fucking faces when I put that boat in my driveway.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, I should have just pulled up in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or whatever, and it's like, oh. And it's like, What's wrong with you? Because they're resentful at you because they don't want to take a chance in all the risks to do that, because anybody can do it. I don't care. Well, not anybody, but I think most people have the potential to start their own business and be successful. They just don't want to take the risks.
Most definitely. Most definitely. And it's one of my favorite memes that we used to share quite often was about a boat is safest in the harbor, but that's not what it was built to do.
Exactly. Right. Or you don't keep your beautiful wife barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen because you don't want anybody else grabbing her. I mean, you got to use your God-given talents or whatever they are and get out there and take some fucking risks. Otherwise, what's
and just trust in the universe that you're gonna succeed. You've
right.
got the passion, you've got the drive, you can make it go.
Yeah, you have to trust the system. Like me doing this. If you would have said 15 years ago, well, Tim, you're going to be on Freedom Revolution Network. You're going to do this. You can do that. You can do a podcast. You're going to say, I'd be like, fuck you. Really? No, I don't want to do that. I don't even know why you're saying that. And it's like, and when I decided to do it, which was nothing more than motivation and inspiration for me to wake fucking people up and go, look what's happening. There's something wrong here. And some people still don't get it. The bailout was enough for me in the meltdown to wake me up and go, wait, something's wrong. And I went down that rabbit hole, and holy shit. I mean, the Federal Reserve and everything else, and it just money flying around everywhere in the reserve currency, and then people don't understand why they got to work harder because their currency's devalued, because they print the shit out of it, and they give it to everybody around the planet except us. We got to work for it. But anyway, in any case, I just learned all that stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. So, and where's this gonna go? I don't know. I don't know, and I don't really care. But I have the passion and motivation to do it because I like doing it, and I like making people laugh, and I like making people think, which most people don't do anymore, and motivate them. But just don't be so gullible and stupid. It's like, oh my God. I know your position on this most likely, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, well, we don't want to take all your guns away, just the ones that can kill 50 people at a time or whatever. Really? Well,
Actually, probably don't know my position on that.
What is it? What is it?
You'd probably be
well, that's why I said I don't know.
I support the Second Amendment. I actually love guns. I am not allowed to own one because I'm a medical marijuana patient.
Yeah.
However, and I want to know why nobody's screaming and hollering about that one. I actually know how to use a gun responsibly. I am a dead shot, or at least I used to be. It's been a while since I've gone out and practiced, but no, I am actually I'm what I want to see happen is stricter laws on people like domestic violence abusers or people. My son's father tried to shoot me, so he never should have had a gun in his possession.
Yeah.
I didn't find out until after I married him that he already had issues with domestic violence.
Oh.
And
wow.
So he's somebody who should never have been allowed to own a gun. He had already proven his violent side. So people like that, no, have guns. They should not be allowed to own them legally. But somebody like me who smokes a plant, why am I not allowed to own a gun?
That whole thing, I personally don't believe in waiving your rights or having your rights taken away from you. They're granted by the Constitution and God-given rights that you should not lose them. And the only time you should lose them is when you're sitting in fucking jail, because you can't use them anyway for the most part.
Right.
So
and once you do your time, as long as it wasn't a violent offense, I'm all for you getting your gun rights back. You know?
Yeah, and even then, and people won't agree with this, but even then, it's like, okay, listen, asshole, you did a horrible thing. If they did that horrible of a thing, then there's something wrong with the justice system, and they shouldn't get out of prison or jail. But let's say they do, and they do. They go right back out there, and whether the firearm's legal or not, they're gonna get one, and they're gonna do something stupid again.
Well, yeah.
And this is the thing. Listen, when you get out of here, you still have your Second Right Amendment, okay? But if you come back here, you will be thrown into prison for the rest of your life, and the key will be thrown away. Period.
Except they don't do that.
That's what they should do. Because what they're doing now doesn't work.
If they did
It doesn't
something
work.
like that, I would be okay with it.
Well, then why?
You know, when you have that threat of life in prison for that kind of, if you're using a gun or any weapon in committing a crime,
Yeah.
you know, you're
Yeah.
endangering somebody else's life. Therefore, you lost your right to yours.
Well, you lost your right to live, at least in society. You're in prison the rest of your life. Period. No plea bargaining, no parole, none of it. You're in prison the rest of your life. Period. Zero tolerance.
And see, that's another one that I'll probably surprise you on, is I actually support capital punishment.
Wow.
If somebody is going to be in jail for their life anyway, why are my tax dollars going to support that life?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. But I never believed in the whole option, I guess, is, well, you can waive your rights or we're going to take away your rights. It's like, wait a minute. Yeah, that's like taking away my breathing or taking the air around me or taking my water away. Those are God-given rights, and by the Constitution, you can't take my rights away. I don't understand that, because if you start taking people's rights away, what's the whole point of having this fucking country in the Constitution? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But the whole gun thing, the people that don't like guns are like, oh my God, they're killing everybody. You don't need 50 bullets. You don't need all this shit. Guns are for protection. Anybody that takes a gun and commits a crime in an offensive manner to harm somebody or rob a bank or whatever they do is just a fucking asshole. That's it. And then, well, okay, but you don't need that type of firepower, because back when the Second Amendment was passed, there was muskets and we shot fucking cannonballs or whatever we did. That has nothing to do with it either, because that's the level of technology. And if you don't have the same firepower or more than your enemy, which, here's the key, foreign or domestic, you're not going to win the battle. You're not going to win with a 9mm against an AR-15. I don't care. And that's another big reason why this country's never been invaded on foot by a foreign enemy, because civilians are armed probably of what your troops are carrying to come in here and invade this country. And if they start fucking with firearms and go, well, you can only have 9 bullets in a 9mm gun, you watch how quickly this country's invaded on foot. While the military will take care of that. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
No. Our military is off in other countries doing stupid shit.
Thank you. And it's nothing against our military. And I can promise you, most people in the military would agree with what I'm saying. And in fact, I know people in the military that do agree with that. But there isn't one sane general or one army, one military, whatever organization, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines in another country that will invade this country on foot, because it would be a suicide mission. Period. Would you? I wouldn't. Like, well, wait a minute. They could have a 50 cal in that house and an AR-15 and fucking ammo up the ass, and all I got is this, and maybe I got some tanks and some RPGs or fucking whatever, but you're still eventually going to lose, because every single person could be armed just to the equivalency of you. You would be a fool to invade this country. But you start fucking with that stuff, and I guarantee you it's a matter of time before that happens. So,
Well, like I said, I am an avid supporter of the Second Amendment, and there are some changes I'd like to see made. Just because of things that I've personally been through.
sure.
But and there's more rights that should be given.
Right.
Like to ex-felons and
Mm-hmm.
pot smokers, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing that gets me about the whole medical marijuana thing and not being allowed to have your gun if you're an MMJ patient. Um, Colorado is a recreational legal state, but as long as you have your medical license, you're not allowed to own a gun. But if you smoke recreationally, it's okay.
Yeah, well, that again,
Explain that one.
yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever. It's just another policy legally to disarm people. I've never been around people that smoke pot and go, "Hey man, this stuff's great. Do you got any Doritos? Because I got the munchies, and you know what? I'm gonna go get my gun and go fucking shoot people."
Right?
I've never heard
We're
that.
the most passive people there are.
That's what I'm saying. I've never heard that. I never saw a Cheech and Chong movie, no offense to them, where there was a scene where they got high and said, "Hey, man, let's go grab our AR-15 and go to a school and shoot some kids." Really? It doesn't happen. And it won't happen for the most part.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But the people that shoot up these schools with these fucking firearms don't even have a goddamn criminal record, and most of them are on those goddamn prescribed drugs that drive them crazy
Exactly.
and have suicidal thoughts.
Hello.
But see, that's okay.
Yes, those wonderful psychotropic drugs.
The that's it. Yeah, that's okay. See,
Yeah.
it's all fucked up. It's all fucked up. The best way to stop people is armed citizens shooting these fucking assholes that start doing shit like that. Like what just happened in Texas in that church, that guy was dead in 6 seconds. Sorry.
I really missed shooting guns. It was a lot of fun.
I haven't done that since I was a kid, and it was a lot of fun. It was a 12 gauge, a 30-06, and a 22. And I had a blast. But I've never really been a gun guy, so I haven't done it since then. But it was a lot of fun. It really was. So.
I was actually, when I was 14, I was invited by the NRA to join their shooting competition.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I have for protection, it's fine. But I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I can protect myself, and I got stuff here that I can with, but not a firearm. But I'd have to deal with shooting somebody, and God forbid if I missed them and killed somebody else, I'm going to prison. And I talked to a law enforcement person about it. And it's like, Tim, because cops get sued for shooting people. And I go, what? I go, that's the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard in my life. Oh yeah, no, they'll come after you. And he said, if you don't have $1 million.
Well, I mean, a lot of them have taken it kind of over the edge.
No, I understand it. That's the whole point.
Knee-jerk reactions.
That's the whole point. But he says, if you don't have $1 million a bullet for insurance, I wouldn't do it. You're better off with a can of mace or whatever. And I got knives stashed around this place and other things, but not firearms.
Oh yeah.
Because I just don't know if I really could shoot somebody and blow their brains out and live with it. I don't know. I don't want to find out. And I sure don't want to find out if I miss and I kill somebody else. So, but if somebody else wants to do that and they're to the hilt, that's their business, and that's great. I really, that's fine. But, I just don't know taking someone else's life, because anybody that uses a gun, in my opinion, is a coward, except if you're underpowered like a woman or whatever, then you just blow his fucking balls off. I wouldn't have a problem with that whatsoever. Fuck you.
I laugh at that statement because I'm of the same frame of mind as you. I want the right to own one. I don't like the fact that I've had my right taken away.
Right.
But at the same time, I personally won't own one in my home, for protection purposes because of that fact. What if somebody came into my house by mistake because I left my door open?
Right.
I forgot to lock my door.
Right.
And they're perfectly innocent. They weren't doing anything malicious.
Right.
And then I take them out.
If you don't have
I've got to live with that for the rest of my life.
if you don't have just the physical training of the level of probably a state trooper or something like that, and then the mental capacity to do it, because anybody can be trained in urban warfare or home defense. But when it comes to pointing that weapon at a human being, whether they're an intruder, went into the house. I mean, you see that on the news all the time. It's a great point that you brought up, that somebody went into the wrong house and actually crawled into a fucking bed and fell asleep. You know, I mean, they were drunk, right? Or they were whatever it was, you know. And you can't differentiate the situation, who that person is, and they came into my house. I didn't know who they were. I killed them. Well, the poor guy lost his mind, or he was drunk as fuck. He thought he was in the right house, and there was no crime committed. Now you're going to have to live with killing that guy.
Right.
You know, so right. you have to have the judgment and the mental training and capacity for decision making and a judgment call, whether you pull that trigger or not.
Oh yeah, whenever I was a kid and learning how to use a gun properly, one of the first rules that I was taught was, if you pull a gun on another human being, you better be ready to pull that trigger, because if you don't, your gun will become a weapon in their hand.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's true too. Right. Yeah, but if it's just a full blown criminal with an illegal gun, and they're not coming over for dinner. They're coming to take your shit and kill you.
No.
So.
No, but how are you going to differentiate that from the drunk who just accidentally stumbled into your house?
With a lot of training. With a lot of training. A lot of training. So, I don't know what to tell you, but I just don't. I think they're great. I don't think anybody should tell you can't have them, or you can't have them, what you can and what you can't have, but you better be very careful, because you have the power to take someone's life. So you better think long and hard about it and be real responsible about it, because that's your God. You're deciding whether somebody lives or dies, and you better be able to be responsible with that power and live with it if you take someone's life. It's simple as that.
Yep.
So, but these gun-toting asshole
people. And the
people,
repercussions if you do it to somebody who wasn't doing anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, both personally, mentally, and through the law. I mean, you're fucked.
Exactly.
You're in big trouble. So, or you accidentally kill somebody else, or the bullet goes through them and then hits somebody that's behind them. I mean, there's so many scenarios that people don't think about. I can protect my house and I'm going to shoot them dead. It's not that simple, except maybe if you're in Texas, but it's not that simple.
I grew up in Texas, so that's
it's true. Yeah, that's true. I don't give a shit. That fuck guy came in here and blew his goddamn brains out. I didn't know who he was. Okay. See you later. That's it, Cop comes over. Okay, I'll just file a report. See you later. Have a good night. I mean, but that's in their culture,
Yeah.
I'm sure why.
It really is there.
Yeah.
I got some good stories on that.
Yeah, I mean, having a gun's like having a car. Or a coffee maker or whatever. It's just like it's part of the thing, man.
It really is.
Yeah. What's the big deal? You're leaving your gun on the table? Oh, yeah. Well, the kids will see it. I don't give a fuck. I hope they do. And I hope they shoot the bastard that comes in the house. That's what they do. But some people, like in New York or Chicago, oh, my God, that's a gun. I got to run. The gun is just sitting there. It's an asshole that picks it up in the culture that you're in and the law system that you're in. But anyway, it's a fascinating thing. But regardless, if we're all unarmed or diminished in our firepower, we're in big trouble. That's just a fact. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I mean, there's a big 350 Magnum with a gun tied in a knot in a barrel in the front of the UN building. So what does that tell you? Was that a sneeze?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sneezing?
No, I coughed.
Oh, you're coughing? Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's 7:30, so we barely touched on hemp again. Tomorrow, we're going to have to do part 3 on this crap. But I do like,
It's just an ongoing.
I don't. So what? I don't really. So what? I don't care. I don't mind hearing things that are like, well, Tim, you said you're going to talk about pot and hemp and whatever. I was looking for.
We got distracted.
Well, but it's all connected, and then you start connecting, you go off a little bit, and it's like, whatever. If you don't like it, don't fucking listen. That's all I can say. But eventually we're going to get to this stuff, and I like it that it goes out on that because we got a ton of things to talk about. So.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want to go, oh, no, we need to go back to, hemp and pot, because we're getting off subject. I don't fucking care. Because maybe we'll stumble on something that neither one of us thought of, and it's going to be, like you just said, the firearm thing connected with the using it for medical purposes. You can't do that. It's like, that's fucked up. Yeah. And then you get into the whole gun thing, and then it all keeps going and going. It just depends on how far out you want to go until you pull it back in. But I really don't care. Right. It doesn't matter to me. I don't really, people don't want to hear it. You think you can talk about pot? Well, okay. Sorry.
Hey, we talk about all kinds of things just as they come up.
Yeah, if you want to listen to stuff that sticks to it and it's timed and it's structured and all that shit, then go listen to the radio or something. I don't
There's other shows.
Really fucking care. Yeah, it's, this stuff is all connected and it needs to be talked about and discussed openly and honestly without judgment and an agenda or political motivation, and so we can figure it out. So.
Exactly.
So, and that's what Freedom Revolution Network is all about, right?
Yep.
So we can all just get along and hate each other equally. Whatever. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna let you go because it's 7:30 and I gotta hit the road. So.
Okie doke. You have a great day at work, and hopefully I'll have some cool stuff to show everybody by the time you get off work.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Cool. All right. All right. Well,
but
thanks.
You have a great day.
Yeah, you too. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay. All right. So that's that. Very interesting. Of course, I didn't stick to the topic again, and I usually don't, but I don't have an agenda. And if things just keep going like that, I just think that that's a sign of a good conversation because it just keeps growing exponentially. But sometimes it does go to the outer limits and too far. I don't think it did this time, but anyway. But it's all connected, and we all got to figure it out. We all got to share our opinions and make people accountable and protect your rights. And that's really what it's about. But you need to wake up and quit letting the little television telling you how to think and elected servants to tell you what you should do and what not to do and make you feel guilty and don't drive your fucking car and global warming's your fault. It has nothing to do with the technology that was available or not. People making a shitload of money off of us living our life day to day and trying to make us feel guilty for it while they do whatever the fuck they want. That's wrong. So anyway, that's enough of that. I go to work now and live in the real world and make the donuts. So thanks for listening to me. Share the show and have a great day. You have been listening to the original Red Pill Show.